Hey, everybody. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime, and happy evening. Um, so, if you read the title of the episode, we have an Amarie Jones case update. Now, before I go into that, first, let me thank everybody who supports. And if you have not already subscribed, please do so because I have got the facts. So, let's talk about Amarie Jones. So, Amarie Jones is a 5-year-old autistic girl from Cleveland, Ohio. And on September 13th, she was physically, sexually in assaulted by 3 children, ages 10, 9, and 8. 2 boys that are 8 and 9, and 1 girl, age 10. They ripped out her hair, they assaulted her in multiple ways, and tried to strangle her, and they left her for dying. So this happened a month ago. This case came out about, let's see, today's the 15th, almost 2 weeks ago, where it actually started hitting the national airways. Only because the mother has made it clear that this needs to be spoken about, because at this point, the children weren't being charged and what did this to her child. And we found out today that, well, originally everything was being said that only the 10-year-old girl could get charged with anything, that the other two, because of their age, weren't going to get anything. Now we find out today that the 10-year-old and the 9-year-old are getting charged with serious, like, felonies. I'm not sure what's going on with the 8-year-old. But, but here we go. Here's the update. So, Cuyahoga County prosecutors have charged 2 children, 9 and 10 years old, in connection to the brutal assault of a 5-year-old girl last month. Um, so I think the only reason they are really pushing to charge them is because of the complete public outcry for justice for this kid. So, I'm not quite sure what they're gonna do to them and what kind of crimes, if it'll be juvenile or, I have no idea. But, I mean, there is a loophole, and I truly, and I've been saying this from the beginning, I honestly feel that Omri Jones's case is going to be a law-changing case simply because, they're saying there's just no real laws about charging juvenile offenders in what I could say almost like a capital crime in Ohio. So I decided to go to Grok and see what it had listed. So let me put my glasses on. Mhm. Okay. So Ohio's juvenile justice system governs how children under the age of 18, particularly those under the age of 10, are handled in cases of alleged criminal behavior, such as the Amarie Jones case in Cleveland. Below is a concise summary of Ohio's juvenile justice laws tailored to provide context for a case involving young suspects 8, 9, and 10 as of today, October 15th, 2025. So, Ohio law generally considers children under 10 to lack the capacity to form criminal intent, meaning they could literally say, "I don't understand what I'm doing." It's almost kind of like guilty. It's almost like the criminally insane plea, guilty by reason of insanity. Same thing. It's like they can't reason that whatever they were doing was wrong. They can't form thoughts. So, so what they mean by that is, okay, so they lack the capacity to form criminal intent, meaning they cannot be prosecuted as adults or typically charged with crimes in the same way as older juveniles or adults. This is rooted in Ohio Revised Code, and I'm not going to give you the section. For children under the age of 10, the suspects in Amarie Jones's case, the system focused on intervention rather than punishment, which I can't completely disagree with that because they are children and intervention to a degree needs to happen because they need to be studied to find out why the hell did they do what they did. So, so courts are going to probably order counseling, mental health evaluations, or supervision through juvenile probation or child welfare agencies. I disagree with that. I think all 3 of them should be housed in a mental health facility and be evaluated fully without any parents around them to interfere with those evaluations. So, in the juvenile courts governed by Chapter 2151 handles cases involving minors. Their primary goal is rehabilitation, not retribution, emphasizing protecting the child's welfare and public safety. For serious offenses, felonious assault or sexual assault, juvenile courts may still intervene, but for very young children, outcomes often involve social services rather than detention. So, let's see here. Yeah, so they are never gonna be able to be charged as adults for what they did. And the application of the law to Amarie Jones's case is because the suspects are under the age of 10, they are unlikely to face formal criminal charges. Instead, the juvenile court or child welfare agencies will mandate. And, that they be evolved evaluated psychologically and, family intervene with the family, investigations, victim support, all this other stuff. So, in my opinion, because we have children younger and younger and younger committing very serious adult crimes, they really need to do more about I don't know about rehabilitation, but housing these kids and evaluating them to find out why they're doing these things. Because are we raising a generation of sociopaths? I mean, that's what I wanna know. Like, granted, these 3, I mean, they're not even all related. I know the 8 and 9-year-old are related, and the 10-year-old is either a neighbor or a distant relative, I'm not sure, but what I don't understand is where did these kids see or know what to do to this child? And I'm gonna keep harping on this. How are they doing this? How do they even know to do any of these things unless they've seen it or it's been done to them? And that's my question. You know, what, you know, where did they get these ideas? Because for me, that's well be more, but no, I shouldn't say more disturbing, but that's just as disturbing as to what they did. How did they even know to do this? And that's a question that keeps me up. Like kids are getting more dangerous. You've got fewer parents that are literally not raising their kids. They're putting them in front of a TV or just leaving them out to their own devices. And I shouldn't say TV. It's more like leaving them on a phone or a tablet, and that's what's raising them. And they have access to everything on the internet, YouTube and all that shows all kinds of things. So, what's the answer? I think we need more parents being more strict and stop giving their kids electronic devices to do whatever the heck they wanna do. I mean, there needs to be some more parental control here. Now, because of what these kids did, I think a fine-tooth comb needs to go through those families and make sure what's going on there. Because obviously those kids have seen something somewhere, somehow. I don't know if the parents are involved, but something needs to happen. I'm just grateful that, the ball is starting to roll, and I think because of public pressure, the prosecutor's feeling like he has to do something or the district attorney, needs to do something because there's no way in hell these kids should be able to go away unpunished. No way. She's 5 years old. She's never going to be the same again. Never. No matter the therapy, no matter everything, she's never going to be who she was before this happened. And she's autistic on top of that. So I can only imagine what that's going to do to her. Cuz like my son, he's an adult now, but we had a situation with a teacher that was abusing him, not sexually or anything like that, but it was still threat of violence and whatnot, and that tore him up for a very long time. And he didn't even go through what this girl went through. This girl went through a hell of a lot more and a hell of a lot worse. So I cannot even imagine how long she is going to be affected by this. And that's my honest to God opinion on this. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to the Ohio code in juvenile justice. There just isn't, you know? And that's where everybody else comes in to pressure the governor of Ohio, pressure the um, senators of Ohio. And this really needs to change. Not only should they charge the children, they should, if there's any signs of abuse in the home, those parents need to be charged too, because that could add to why they did what they did. Excuse me, hiccups. So, that's just my thought, but I'm just glad to hear that more is being done, and, yeah, I'm just glad more is being done, and more people are talking about this and getting the information out there. Because look at this child. Look at her. I don't understand how anybody could hurt somebody like this. I applaud the mother for keeping herself together as much as she can. Um, I can't say that with any certainty that I would be as composed or as calm. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I would be as calm, but she's going to get justice. This child is going to get justice, and that, at the end of the day, is the ultimate goal. So never forget people. Even a child can be dangerous. Even a child can be dangerous. Trust no one. So this is Rebecca with Red True Crime. Um, this is all I have on the update of Amarie Jones. And everybody have a good night. Be safe. And I will see you soon. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Have a great night. Bye.